had a very unusual job, in fact a unique job at the time. I was in charge of a team of Marines, and we built and trained and led in combat the first Iraqi Army battalion that was trained by the U.S. military. And it was done at a time when nobody knew if it could be done. It had never been done before. And the last Westerner to lead Arabs in combat was T.E. Lawrence in World War I, better known as Lawrence of Arabia. So, we were really in uncharted territory here. We started taking machine gun fire from a house down the street. A couple of insurgents, a little bit down the street and catty corner to us, had come out of an alley with an RPG. They had time to get a shot off, and I remember seeing the round coming at me. I don't remember much after that, except I don't know if I recovered consciousness or what, but I was lying in the street, and I felt like these pricks on my face, and I couldn't move and I couldn't talk, and I realized that there was a sniper shooting at me while I was lying there. I thought that was it for me, but the other two Marines broke cover under fire to come get me, and they dragged me back and they put me up against a wall, and there was blood everywhere, and I didn't realize that I was hit. I thought I'd been knocked down. They were covered in blood, and they said, "Who's hit?" And I was against the wall, and I looked at the wall, and there's a big bloody body print. And I said, "Oh boy, I think that's me. I think I'm in big trouble." I was in over 100 firefights, more than 3 dozen shellings, a dozen IEDs.
Michael Zacchea, a highly decorated Marine, was diagnosed with PTSD after a harrowing tour in Iraq in 2004. A lieutenant colonel, he trained in Iraqi Army battalion and was part of the most intense urban combat for the U.S. military in a generation, the Battle of Fallujah.
Fighting street to street, house to house, going into houses, finding people dead and mutilated, bodies in the streets.
6 weeks later, the Marines and the Iraqis had secured the city. But it was a time when kidnappings and beheadings of coalition personnel were all over the news. And soon Zacchea got word that the insurgents were personally targeting him for assassination.
Basically the message was, Zacchea is going to die like the other infidels. It preyed on my mind, because I never ever knew, I could be taking a shower and I could be killed. I could be doing absolutely anything, and I was extremely aware of how vulnerable I was at any given time.
And from time to time, Zacchea still receives terrible news from his old unit.
I got an email from the Iraqi battalion that one of my interpreters, with whom I was close, his name was Archon, had been assassinated. And I was very, very upset about that, and devastated, in fact. He had just written me a letter like 2 weeks before.